Shalom, blessings in the name of Jesus, Messiah of the world. We're going to talk some more about miscegenation. We're still in the book of Enki. Shalom, sheep in the gardens, your faithful black sheep. Okay, so it cut me off right here. Enkidu, as by Enki created, was he called. Of a womb he was not born. Blood in his veins was not. Okay. With the comrade Enkidu, Gilgamesh to the landy place journeyed. Utu with oracles his progress oversaw. At the entrance to the cedar forest, its fire-belching monster their way blocked. With trickery the monster confused to pieces they broke. When the secret entrance to the tunnels of the Anunnaki they found by the bull of heaven, a creature of Enlil, with deathly snorts they were challenged. Of course, they killed the bull, and then Enlil knew that was a bad omen when they killed his bull. For having the bull of heaven slain to perish in waters, Enkidu was punished. So Enkidu was punished for killing this bull by perishing in waters, which was a shame. To die in waters, it was a shame to them. Gilgamesh, having been instructed of the slaying, was absolved. Gilgamesh was absolved of all of this. Still, the long life of Nibiru, seeking Gilgamesh to proceed to the place of the chariots by Utu, was permitted. After many adventures to the land of the fourth region, they reached, through its subterranean tunnels, he proceeded in a garden of precious stones, Zeusudra, that is the one that was in the submarine that survived the flood. That's Enki's son, right? Earth's son, from some earth woman that he impregnated. So he met him in this underground garden. Wow, right? So let's continue. Another note about time. Precisely was the count of 1,000 earth years completed at this time. And that's Gilgamesh. So that gives you an idea of the time. We can look at the Bible and know when Gilgamesh was alive. So we can already know that, the lost book of Enki can't be more than, a few thousand years old. So precisely when the count of 1,000 earth years was completed. In the matters of resurrection and immortality, he found much to ponder. And the thought of divine godship to him greatly appealed. To be a great god himself, he announced. And that was their downfall, right? Was announcing themselves as God instead of helping us like they were supposed to. By what to Gilgamesh in good measure an earthling was permitted, Ra, Marduk, Satan was angered. If demigods, the gateway to immortality, are shown, let this to the king of my region apply. So did Marduk in the second region by the name Ra known to himself the word. Let the kings of my region of Netru offspring be to Nibiru in an afterlife journey. So, Marduk is Satan and he is a snake. And I wanted to point out right here that back then in cities, they didn't have money. In cities of man, local rulers as righteous shepherds were designated. Artisans and farmers, shepherds and weavers, their products far and wide exchanged. They weren't sold. Money was not invented yet. I don't think that came until what, the Romans? I'm not sure. To the people who in the upper plain of the two rivers dwelt, Inanna took a liking to the sound of the tongue. So anyway, Inanna learns a new language. All right, here we go. Marduk wants to take over the entire world, including slaughtering, and this is Satan, we know this is Satan, including slaughtering all of his own siblings and relatives and father, mother. He doesn't care. He'll kill you because he wants control of the earth. And then Enki's talking to him, and he says, "What has overpowered you, Marduk? Unheard of are your pretensions. The heavens and the heavens my supremacy bespeak." Marduk, his father, Enki, answered, "The bull of heaven," we know that to be the age of Taurus. Enlil's constellation sign by his own offspring was slain. In the heavens, the age of the ram, my age, is coming. Unmistakable the omens are. In his abode in Eridu, the circle of the 12 constellations, Enki examined. On the first day of spring, the beginning of a year, sunrise was carefully observed. In the constellations, stars of the bull was the sun that day rising. So it was still in Taurus. It had not moved into Aries yet. Still remote, they say, was the time of the ram. The age of the bull, of Enlil, it still was. But Marduk and his assertions did not relent. So the Anunnaki, they appealed to the Anunnaki leaders, how to the peoples, the skies to observe, to teach. So they want to teach us about astrology, not astronomy, which will serve you when you look up and you know what you're looking at. When you look up astronomy, astrology is an empty, useless, you can't even call it a tool. I've done hundreds of charts, and I can tell you something. I can tell you one thing about astrology. It's nonsense. First of all, you have to go to the person's birth chart, their natal chart. And that's the only place you can ever find out anything about somebody. And you know what I found out about everybody's natal chart that I've ever looked at, including my own? Most people are not even living up to their potential by any means. Like if they have a gift for writing, well, they're probably into computers or whatever. Or if they're supposed to be a healer, then they're somebody who goes around. A lot of people do the opposite of what's in their charts. So I get really disgusted with astrology. We should have stuck with astronomy, which is it's God's work and God's will, and it's God's universe. And if we would have just paid attention to the stars and his signs instead of searching for signs that apply to us, like when am I going to find love? When am I going to get money? When am I going to we're supposed to be depending on God, Yahuwah, for all of our needs. You need something? Ask God. Ask and you shall receive. All right, let's continue. I get excited. What can I say? Okay, so how they taught the people how the skies to observe. Fake astrology, because we know Jesus made the universe and created true astronomy. So after the Anunnaki, as gods themselves declared, on mankind's support, they instead had become dependent. And they lamented it. They hated it. They victimized us until God caused them to become like us. Right? From the place where Marduk, the tower reaching to heaven, the build had attempted sacred soil, from there to Agadi did they move therein the heavenly bright object to implant. And I'm saying, give me astronomy any day. So let's skip that. Here they start warring themselves. The blood of people as never before on earth like rivers flowed. To his brother Marduk, Nergal to Babylon came for the sake of the people. Babylon to leave he persuaded. Let us peacefully wait for the true signs of heaven. So he's saying, let's look to the astronomy, right? Let's look for the signs that we're supposed to be looking for. From land to land, the skies to watch, he traveled. That is Marduk. Amun, the unseen one in the second region, was Ra, henceforth called. So now Amun, this other power or principality or prince, whatever you want to call him, was given the name Ra. Okay, there's another one that was named By Sin Loved. By Sin Loved. That's his actual name. I'm going to skip that part too. So anyway, Marduk raised an earthling army. The sacrilege of an earthling's army through the fourth region passing Naram Sin committed. Now, what's the fourth region? That's where the Anunnaki live. They're not supposed. No humans are allowed there. So, Megan, he invaded a house which like a mountain is to enter. He attempted. And what did we say? The King Alexander had prayed to Yahuwah, and he had locked those 22 mountain armies behind the door in the mountain. And right here it's saying, the house which like a mountain is to enter, he attempted. He couldn't get in at all. At the account, okay, another reference to time, at the count of 1,500 earth years did this happen. And now, this is the account of the prophecy by Galzu to Enlil in a vision about Marduk's supremacy it was, and how a calamity to survive a man to choose. Okay, from the cities of God to the cities of man, it moved about. Let's talk about the kingship. And then, it was at that time that in the nighttime Enlil a dream vision had. The image of a man to him appeared, bright and shining like the heavens he was. He approached, and by Enlil's bed stood. Enlil, the white-haired Galzu, recognized. In his left hand, a tablet of lapis lazuli. He was holding the starry heavens. On it were designed by the 12 constellation signs were the heavens divided. To them with his left hand, Galzu pointed. From the bull to the ram, Galzu his pointing shifted. 3 times the pointing he repeated. And we know Jesus is in charge of everything. And he is Lord of the Sabbath. He's coming back early. He's coming back soon. He's in the skies right now. Right? We can already see their crafts. The righteous time of benevolence and peace by evildoing and bloodshed will be followed. In 3 celestial portions, the ram of Marduk, the bull of Enlil will replace. Because we know one age has to move into the next. A calamity as has never before occurred by fate decreed will happen. As at the time of the deluge, a righteous and worthy man must be chosen. By him and his seed will civilize mankind as by the Creator of all intended be preserved. So did Galzu, the divine emissary, to Enlil in the divine dream vision say. Now remember, he had given Enki the plans for the submarine. Now he's telling Enlil that something else horrible is coming. And I'll just tell you what it is, because I don't know if my camera's going to cut off. They have a nuclear war here on Earth. And unfortunately, God sends what they call an evil wind and blows that cloud that